What's up, everyone? Another way back with more Factorio for you. Episode 50, 50, kind of always a big marker in the series, right? If you get to 50 episodes. Technically, I don't really like to get to 50 episodes anymore because it feels like it's too long of a series. Then people usually kind of stop watching after 10 episodes. They maybe get bored or something. It's also really hard to inject yourself in like the 50th episode of a series. Like you haven't been following along, so you feel like you don't know, you're not going to know where you're at, right? Personally, I don't mind bumping in. Usually what people need to do is say, hey, since we last left off, last time we built basically all the things you need on Aquilo, and since then I have kind of rebuilt all the systems. You can see I moved the ice and ammonia production up here, a lot more production, and also added in these efficiency mods to make sure that we're not burning as much energy. You can see it's only a quarter of a megawatt, so that's good. Without those, it's like 2 megawatts, so that's just too much. You can see here's my platform production. A lot of it, probably too much, almost double, probably. I don't really care about ratios. I just kind of build, and I do ratio a little bit of calculation, but I don't care that much. It just is what it is. Here's where I'm gathering all my ammonia. It's actually going off into this kind of holding area right here too, because it fills up. Now, here's where I'm generating fuel, rocket fuel, and I'm kind of just killing the rocket fuel. If it fills up, I just destroy it. Because what happens is ammonia backs up because it's not very balanced, right? And I need more ice, or for you to say it's that way, need more ice than I do ammonia, and the ammonia backs up. So what I do is when the fuel is full, I just kill it so I can burn more ammonia, is really what I'm trying to do here. And then you can see I expanded the lithium plate factory, the lithium production and everything, kind of got everything really bumped up, and then created all these platforms to kind of expand us out. Another thing you can probably see is, wait, the nuke moved. Yeah, because I went to a 4 nuke setup. This actually got us all the way up to, we're getting basically 480, I want to say, megawatt output. And everything's running, but it's really low. That's what I like. For Aquilo, I don't want it to run. 50% is already getting scary for me, so I want to make sure we have max, just whatever we need. Because right now, a lot of stuff's not running, right? When it is running, it bumps up to, I don't know, right in here, about 1/3. That's probably good, because we're about to do some more stuff. As you can see, I'm already starting to make rocket silos here. I don't have any. I'm waiting for materials. So this material is coming down from the ship. Let's make sure the ship is pulling enough, because it's probably not pulling that much. Yeah, let's pull 500 of these at a time. Well, wait, it's 500, right? It's 200. 200's okay. 1,000 steel. We definitely need to pull more steel. Let's get 1,000 of that. Yeah, 400 is not going to be enough at all. Let's go 1,000, and then we'll just take the minimum payload off. Okay, that's 5 loads. That's fine. Rocket fuel, I might cut that back pretty soon because I want to make some more on planet, and I want to show you. I'm not going to make it through ammonia. Ammonia is really slow. If you look at the ammonia process, which we'll do real quick, this process is dreadfully slow. Look how slow this is, right? And that's no speed mods. I don't have any speed mods in here, but I have to have efficiency mods. It's already 1/3 of a megawatt, so it's just, and these prod mods slow it down more, so it's just too slow. So I'll show you a way I'm gonna do it to kind of generate us a lot more rocket fuel. We're gonna need more for these rocket silos, right? Because rocket silos, to build a rocket, it needs a lot of rocket fuel. So that's what I've been doing off camera, is really just kind of making everything more efficient, rebuilding things into the correct areas where I want them. I really used and abused this city block right here, which I think is fine. This is probably as big as we'll ever need it. And then again, I wanted to make more space for really science, which we'll do over here because it's next to the fluorine. And we're going to do probably rockets right here, and then I'll do some fuel generation down there. We're getting pretty close to these extra fluorine and lithium, so that's good. And then I think for oil, we'd have to go way down here to get some good oil. See, that's not very good. Actually, our oil is pretty decent at 3,000. That's only 2,400. So yeah, we'd have to look around to get better oil, probably. See, that's pretty bad. But at least they're near us. So again, that's what I've been doing off camera. This should make us a couple. In fact, let's up this to say when there's less than 4, I want you to make them, because, well, we'll say 2, 3, because I want to start out with like 5 rockets. Well, 5 rockets probably won't be enough. Because, let's see, so what happens is it will create one, it'll save up the materials for another one. So that's basically like 2. And then I'm saying put 2 in here, right? I'm saying if it's less than 2, empty out. So we should have 4 rocket silos when this is done. So let's let that cook. And let's get to the science real quick. I wanted to do the science first because I want to have it build up while we're doing other things so that we can get a nice load of science. Now, we're going to need pump jacks. And you know what I'm not doing? Why don't these have prod mods in them? That's weird. They really should have prod mods because... Well, in fact, let's just get in build mode now because let's let the bots do these. Because I don't want to run out. Like, at this point, it's really not a good idea to run out. We need fluorine, the pump jacks on the fluorine, right? So let's go do that real quick. Let's see. I'm going to probably put our thing right here. Let me go grab basically a copy of that. We want... Nope, I don't want that. I want this setup. And we'll put it... That's probably fine, I think. We'll put it like right there. Let me get pump jack again. Pump jack. We'll just do something like that. And this is good. I like that. We'll run all that stuff up that way. Pipe is in the way. Yeah, I know. Why don't you remove it? Build over it, right? Alright, there we go. Let's get the pipe in now. There we go. Now we're building up fluorine here. Good. Alright, so the fluorine is set up. It's going to run into these guys. So here's how it's going to work. Is these guys take in all the stuff that you need, okay? Like, we're going to need solid fuel. And I actually boxed up, I think, some solid fuel down here. Yeah, it's right there. Because I didn't know we're going to need it for the actual science process. So we've got all this other stuff. We actually have some... The lithium will just come from here, right? It's feeding the plate area, but it's also just hanging out in case we need it for, well, science. That makes this fluoroketone, hot fluoroketone solution. And the ammonia is going to help because we need to dump ammonia. So it's going to be good to dump ammonia. And the ammonia goes there. So this stuff will probably run... This is going to be interesting because I want to add stuff in, right? So the way I usually like doing that... Let's just do the piping real quick because it's making me nervous. We'll do that. And then this can just come up like this. That's how I usually like doing it. I did it before, at least, with the lithium like that. And that way, we can just... Well, that's not going to work. So we need 10 seconds to craft this. And we only need 2 solids in that 10-second time period. Which means we can use longhand. So I think I'll use longhand for this. That'll give me space to draw my heat piping. So we'll do longhand there. It might be better to do that because then I can run heat piping kind of underneath, probably. Now that's not going to heat these guys up. So we got a little bit of a problem there. You know what I could do? Instead of doing that, I think I'll just do this. Well, we don't need that. If I want to do that, I can just do it from here. So we'll pull this down something like that. And now I can use these to heat that up. Okay. I want to put this in here because I'm going to have to run these guys. Yeah. Which means power is going to have to go way back here, probably. There we go. That's fine. All right, so we got that. Let's get... Usually what I like to do is it's the same thing I do over here, right? That's a really good setup. Well, I mean, I have to use a lot of efficiency mods here because these guys are just pulling the juice out. So I'm probably going to use the same setup. Let's copy paste and I can just change what it's making. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, well, let's kind of reverse out of that. So let's just say I want 2 speed mods, 2 prod mods. Is that how I do it over here? Yeah, I did it like that. Then I said, because now it's 3 megawatts. And then, there we go. This should be less than a megawatt, right? Yeah, it's a third of a megawatt. I'm getting 20 per second. And it was how much before? 50. So that's 5 per second. So I'm getting 4 times the amount. That's pretty good. And a little bit of extra productivity. That's kind of good. Maybe we'll add some... Should we add more speed? Or prod? Let's leave it like this and see what happens. So now what I want to do is, why don't we copy paste this so that bots will paste it in with all the mods in there, the modules. We're just going to build 2 for now, and I want to do something I can basically, in fact, if we do this guy up here, he'll hit this guy too. So that's what we're going to do. So output, we only need 1 output. We don't need all this. Right? That's overkill. That's not good. Well, what I wanted to do is make sure that we weren't direct feeding, that they could share. Which means the better way to do this, really, is to have a reservoir. So why don't we have this come out to this? All right, so that's kind of the setup. Yeah, we don't need this then. The setup is really this. Right. All right, there's the setup for that. That's good to go. We need to move this guy out, possibly. Oh, man. Oh, well. I was going to try to keep the recipe, but it doesn't really matter. So what you have to do is like, to cool it off, which is kind of funny. Comes out really hot, which I guess makes sense. You're melting things. Then you got to cool it down to make the science. All it does is go through another machine. So if I move this guy to here, right? If I move him to there... Good, I can still touch everything. Boom. Then that means I can move this guy up here too. Probably right there would be good. And then this just needs quester dudes, right? Oops. Here and here. And then we're going to have to run some pipe up this direction. Yeah, that's not going to be it. Like that. Actually, we don't need this to go all the way up. There. Okay. Alright, so let's request. 10's good. It's probably not enough. Let's do 20, because these guys can carry a lot more than that. And it's just kind of a waste. It's too much flying around for how fast they're going to be able to do this, probably. Alright, so now we got some... Oh, no. Oh, this needs to be switched. H. Okay. This still needs to come in. So we won't be able to have a heat pipe here. It's going to have to run... Well, first let's do this. Right? Can I get it all the way out? I can't. I can do that. Alright, where are we coming from? All the way up here. Alright, so we got that heat set up. Now we're going to need this, right? I'm going to do another one of these. There we go. Okay. No, that won't work. Let's go down from here. There. Okay, now it's working. And should be pumping in here, and it is. Let me look at this thing. It's kind of slow. Let's put another speed mod in there. This is a little slow. There we go. It's going to be, yeah, 2 megawatts. It's not my favorite, but... I don't know, 2 megawatts. I'm all power conscious now. I mean, we have so many megawatts, it's probably fine. I'll just leave it. If it's a problem, we'll screw with it later. I'm getting 5 per second on this one as well. I think the other one's 5 per second too, right? This is 5 per second normally. Yeah, 5 per second. So these are the same. It's 1 to 1. So let's get this stuff in there. The heat piping will... Oh, let's come up from this way, I think, on this one. We'll just go around like that. Alright, so that's set up. They got power. All it needs is fluid. It doesn't need anything else. Let's get the same setup we got going here. 3 of them, right? And then we want 2 prod mods. Oh! Can't use prod mods here. Okay, we'll do some speed and that. Well, we don't need that much speed because this one only has 3. So this one we're getting 10 per second. This we're getting 26 per second. So we actually could go up. Right, it's consuming 10 per second and giving us 10 per second. So let's go up 1 more. That's 12. We can do 2 of these for every 1 of those. All right, we're just going to duplicate these. That's fine. We'll do it here too, right? And we'll do this. Cool. Now we have 12, and now we should just dupe this. Literally just copy this whole thing. And then let the bots kind of do their thing. The one thing we will have to do is that the bots don't have... Well, they should have some of those, but anyway. Alright, that gets us the cold fluorotane bane badane dang gain. Let's cut that out. And now we need this guy. But he is way too close. Because we need a feedback loop. So let's get this guy way up here. There we go. Let's do another one of these, because we need to push it back in, right? And take it from... This will be the reservoir coming out. And this is the one coming from the cold. Oh, wait. So this needs cold and produces hot. So the way we do this is we're going to say, when it comes back, it's going to go into here. We'll just take this off, because I think what we're going to do is something like this. We're going to have 2 pumps. Because what we're going to do is we're going to say, look, this is going to say, look, when you have more than 1,000 of this hot floral blah, 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 then work. But you're the opposite. This is if you have less than 1,000. Let's say less than or equal to, okay? Then you're going to work because you're connected to... Oh, crap. We have to move this up 1. Okay, that's set up, and this needs to just go like that. It won't backwash, so that's totally fine. And then these should have their stuff. Yeah, they're already producing it. So that what that says is, look, if I've got the backwash, what I'm calling it, right? Because when you're done with science, you end up with the hot fluorocurtane badane bazane. Put it in this tank, and then this tank starts filling up. Use that first. Don't make more, right? We already have some. And that way the system won't back up, right? You can see right now it's saying, hey, it's empty. I'm not using it. And this is saying, hey, it's empty. We're going to use this stuff. So now all I have to do is draw it from this process up here at some point. And all this guy needs is cold stuff, and it makes the science and puts out hot stuff. All right, so those are set up. There's nothing more needed here. Except, and they have efficiency mods, right? So they're fine. So now we're filling up the cold fluoroketane, and we just have to bring it back for the science process here. And we'll do the science process the same we've done everything else. I just need to know how much it's taking in. It's taking in... Well, actually, let's fill it all up, right? We're going to need more of these now. We're going to need that there, pretty much. Okay, and then we're going to need more power. Great, because we're going to be putting stuff out. So it's going to need... Oh, it needs ice and lithium, too. I didn't know that. So that's kind of good that we did it this way. And it's not going to need them very quickly, right? It's just 4 items every 20 seconds. Now, before we start, I think we can prod mod this. And we're going to want it probably like that. And then we're going to want the speed mods. There we go. Now let's look at this thing. 2 megawatts, that's fine. We're getting about 4 quarter of a science per second. Yeah, we don't need that much. We can use the long hands. Kind of want to do it like I did down here. It's like preferred. Actually, okay, cool. We'll do it right there. And then we'll just request the items. That's good. Let's make this like 40, and we'll make this 20 because that's just not enough. Those guys can carry a lot more, and it keeps it coming in faster. And then what we'll do is like we did last time, we'll copy paste this so it knows what to do. Now if we can run more, we will. I just want to see what happens here. Then we're going to need something coming out the other side, so let's do this. Let's set this stuff up for the outbound here. Oops. We're going to need a heat pipe in here. Again, we'll connect it right here. This is probably a good idea, actually. And then it's just going to run right here. Great. With outbound going to a belt. This way, right? We only need these guys to pick... I only wanted to pick up from one spot. And then we'll just say, hey, this is... Just do whatever you want right here. And why don't you use a stacker, just because it's fun. Okay. Science is sciencing. Let's fill in the rest of these because it's apparently they don't have any or something. I don't know. There we go. That helps a little bit. Not a lot of science, but science. So we're using only 1.32 per second. We could speed this way up. In fact, let's speed it way up, but we'll do it up here. It won't go down. Oh, it'll go down one more. That's true. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, now what are we doing? I mean, those are 5 megawatt each. So why don't we do this then? Let's do that and put another one of these in here. See what happens. 380. Jesus, it's so high, man. It's so much. I'd rather have another prod mod, to be honest. I'd rather have it like that. There we go. 2. That's much better. All right, we also are going to have to copy the whole thing. We don't really have a choice. We've got to copy all the way down to here because we're not getting a lot of the stuff. And then we'll just take out these guys. We don't need these. There we go. Okay. That duplicates that. That's a lot, man. We could probably go 4 more, honestly. We have the power. We have the technology, man. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so why don't we dupe this again? We might have to do like 2 layers of this stuff. There we go. And we can connect this in over here. This is a pretty good system. It's a little overbuilt as far as down here. I'm kind of glad you don't need that many support systems to run this. In fact, I'll probably rebuild this off camera where we can do a better ratio of this, maybe make it tighter. We don't need it tighter. I have tons of space. I mean, I can make another platform. So it's not necessary, right? Let's let that build out. And now what I'm going to do, we're building up some decent science, decent amount. Let's go get the rockets set up here. And then what I'll start working on is, so I should get 1 more immediately. Oh, they're waiting for, okay, that's fine. We'll just set up 2 for now. So I'm going to do rockets over here. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to want with these, the very basic, right, is just this, right, with requesting boxes. So that means we can just do this. I'm just trying to look at where's the heat pipe going to go. And then it goes like that. Okay. And then we're going to want power. And then we're going to want prod mods. And we're going to want some speed beacons. Right? But what we're going to do is put this one efficiency and this one speed. Because these guys, oh my god, they're 20 megawatts apiece. Holy crap. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay. Ah! But that's while they're building, right? Jeez. Minimum, okay, yeah, maximum is 20 megawatts. All right, maybe instead of 2 of these guys, which don't really help that much, we just put 2 of these guys. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah, that's 9. Maybe just all of these. Yeah, maybe that's better. Okay, a megawatt, right? Let's see, what's this? 3 megawatts? No, we're just gonna do that. All right, we got what we want. Cheap power, right? Cheap. We're not gonna get any real bonuses. The speed bonus, I guess, but it's not super helpful in my opinion. Okay, so we got 2 rockets right now. Let's copy this though. I do want to make 2 more silos, but let's horizontal this so it's kind of more cool. And I want to probably move these over just because it's more efficient. And this seems really not very efficient. There we go. So we'll get 4 of those guys going. And we've got the science, right? Plenty. It's stopped. Oh, it's not going back out. Okay, I forgot to pump it back out. Okay, let's get this the feedback mechanism set up. That's what I didn't do. Okay, so let's set... There we go. Now it's moving, and that should do it. And then, so this is going to fill up, right? It's got 1.2, which means this guy is running, and this guy is not. This will go back and forth now, right? As this, see, that emptied out lower than 1,000. At least it was for a second. No, it's still pumping on this side until this dies down. It's only going to use this, which is totally fine with me. Okay, we're back up and running. That's good. And we have science now. Let's send some science back to We're going to have to go first back to Volgora, and then we have to go from Volgora back to Novice, right? So we're going to say, look, now that we have science, I want 500 apiece. And I want you to import it from there. And custom payload 500 is fine. There we go. Okay, we're going to get 500 from Aquilo. And then when you're at Volgora, you're going to request 500. Right? You're going to request 500 science. Great. Looks awesome. And then the Volgora to Novice ship will say, hey, you know what? Why don't you grab me some science packs from Volgora? Why don't you get me 500 of those guys? And let's get a custom payload of 500. Nice. And then on Novice, I'll say, hey, dude, like, when that stuff gets here, why don't you pull it? Would it go here? I guess so. Technically, it's coming from Volgora. We'll put 1,000 here, I guess. Great. And then we can really just move these over. Been wanting to do this for a while. There we go. Okay, so we're going to get the science from there. And then we can say, now that we have the science, why don't you pull in here? Wait a minute. Yeah, this guy would be the guy. We want 1,000 of this science, right? The cryogenic science. Is this guy 1,000? These are all 1,000, right? Oh, they're 2,000. Okay. I want 2,000 of those so they can build up a nice buffer. And then I'm going to say the same thing over here since I duplicated my science a while back so I could go a little bit faster. There we go. It's all set up now. I'll be back when the science starts coming in because I want to pick something to work with here. Okay, we're here. There goes the science. Let's get down there. Oops, that ain't right. Let's get down there and see what happens here. We should see foundations start to go up. And it's only 2,000, so it should be, this is half of it right here. And since we have productivity, this might be all of it, really. So let's let the bots get over here. Here they come. Half and half. It looks like half's going this way, half's going that way. Oh, man, they split off. Up, there we go. Our first cryogenic science packs going into the mix here. Nice. It's going to flow right into this guy right there. There we go. We got another science pack in there. Now we have 11 science packs in there. Just one more science pack to get, and we are done with science. Very cool. Pretty fast, to be honest, in my opinion, I guess. But that's cool. I'll get all these sciences unlocked, and then next episode we'll work on probably like fusion power or something like that, because we do need to up our power a little bit. And we'll start building that ship, or I might just build it off camera, another battleship class, because I've already built that, so we don't need to watch me build it, right? So I'll get another battleship class going for us to go out to the edge of the solar system, and then that's where we're going to set up, if we can. I don't know what you can do out there yet. We'll go out there and see what's out there. I'm not sure. Can you land stuff? Can you not land stuff? Because what I'd like to do is bring stuff out there to build a mega platform to see if we want to go to the Shattered Planet or not. I'll get all that stuff done off camera, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay frosty.